All right, welcome everybody. This is episode number 5. It is release notes on 3900.84 for Ultra, and we are super excited to have you joining us. It's the Freshforward team. So my name is Liam, and with me is also Colleen, Stephen, and Faith. Hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
Howdy.
Howdy. Welcome. Good to have you all here with me and checking out the updates. So we're a little bit behind schedule. We should have done this some time ago, an undefined number of weeks ago. So we'll just jump in. But 3984 does bring with us some pretty cool stuff. You can see it on the screen there. Just kind of a high level list of things. We've got forums, Likert questions, and Likert questions. Sorry, I am going to say this wrong throughout the entire.
We should poll people, comment under the video. Do you pronounce it Likert or Likert?
That's right.
It's much debated on our team.
And we should just kind of flip-flop back and forth, and so that we don't give away what we think is actually the answer. So those kinds of questions, the sliding scale questions, that's how you pronounce it, the sliding scale questions. So several updates. We're going to go through our top 4, I think, is kind of our plan today. So I guess we'll dive right on into it, guys?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we are sharing our top picks. You'll see on the screen here, this is the release notes that we've put together from Ultra's anthologies release notes and made available to Georgian College's faculty, but it is on the Georgian College website under the faculty Blackboard support through the what's the word I'm looking for?
Faculty toolbox in the employee portal.
That's right. That's where you can find it. So we'll jump in. So the first thing we're going to look at is forms, and this is I think this is an exciting one. And Faith, I overheard you talking a little bit earlier with a colleague about the opportunity.
Yeah, we were kind of in the sandbox earlier today and noticed that forms is now an option on when you go click that little purple plus. It's along there with the assessments, and that there's a little you'll notice a form option that you can create now. And it comes with its own unique little icon beside it too, a little clipboard. So you know that that's different from a test or an assignment. And it's set up really similarly though, right, to an assessment. But I think the idea is that it won't be graded. And it's something you could poll your students to get info from or some vibes about a particular topic.
It can be graded though if you so choose it, right? Yeah. It's like the discussion board question too as well, right? It can start off as an ungraded and then
you've got that option with it, which is kind of nice. And to keep things organized when you're building your course, that you know that's maybe for polling or for more info seeking.
Yeah, so if you're looking to collect that sort of information, same sorts of questions as we have with tests. We have the essays, multiple choice, true, false, texts, even adding an opportunity for students to upload a file. But I think go ahead.
I was going to say, at the beginning of a lot of the courses we teach, we like to gather information about our students before, just to kind of get a vibe for the unique crowd that they are, their needs, anything that they would like to share with the Likert, which I guess we'll talk about next. But that's a nice, like on a scale of 1 to say 5, how anxious are you about learning math this semester, or like something you can get some feeling sort of attribution to how they feel about things using the Likert scale.
Yeah,
comparably to some of the ed tech stuff that we have as well. I mean, this doesn't replace your Poll Everywheres or your, the Microsoft Forms, but it does offer another kind of inclusive method for us as faculty to use it within Blackboard instead of having that LTI, and for all our asynchronous students and students online. I think it really is going to be a beneficial feature.
Yeah.
Cool. And the point that they put here at the bottom of the release notes is that those questions, and I've seen instructors want to create questions but not have a correct answer, and this is where this is going to come in, is the forms will allow you to just give a response. So by default, forms are not graded because there's no right or wrong answer.
Then we dug into the weighted total or the calculated total column, and you can give weight for folks like completing it, I guess you could
for
say,
completion.
right? So yeah, it may not be graded as right or wrong, but you could still give them a little bit of a, I don't know, 1%, say a low sort of stakes participation mark if you wanted to. Yeah.
Cool. And that just, I think that that's forms, but that brings up with it the Likert, the sliding scale questions.
Likert.
Let's just spell it each time.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I do believe that the proper pronunciation is Likert.
Yes.
But I'm sure if there are people commenting, they will tell me I'm
That's
wrong.
like pedagogy and pedagogy, right? Like depending on where you go in the States and stuff too, maybe it's one of those words.
Maybe.
So. But anyway, hopefully everyone's familiar with what we mean either way, right? It's the rating scale.
If not, then we can talk about it now. So, Likert questions, as you see here, help provide quantitative measures of opinions and attitudes. So that's on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 7, asking students to respond. Interesting is the Likert questions are by design odd numbers. There's always a middle spot there. There's no 4 or 6 or 2. It's 3, 5, or 7 is really the options right now. That will likely, I think there'll be some exploration or conversation as to whether they need to open that up, but that's the way it's set up right now. Yeah.
Right. No, they're great. And I think this was one of your ideas on the idea exchange, was it not?
I know I was part of the conversation on it. I think somebody else had put it forward.
I think you might be responsible for this edition, so I'll give you kudos.
Sure. Well, thank you. Anything else that we want to say?
I mean, I just want to bring attention to that note at the bottom there, that Likert question in a survey created in an Ultra. I know some faculty still exist in Ultra for their dev shells and whatnot. That is, I think, key when we copy things over from the original to Ultra still, that you can take your surveys now, and this Likert will show up without any issues.
Okay.
Cool.
Excellent. Okay, then moving on. Pick number 3 is audio video recording in feedback, and there's, I guess, some usability improvements here. Audio video feedback is more personalized and engaging means for providing feedback. And I did this actually in one of my courses. I just sat down and I think I took about 10 or 15 minutes per student and gave every one of my students a 5 or so minute review and reflection. Now, the assignments I was marking were complicated. They were Excel sheets. So trying to articulate where I was referencing in those files would have been really tricky in text. So I found that the audio, I just did the audio recording for the whole thing. So
but this is great. I think they've made it a little bit more prominent or intuitive to find now in the toolbar, which is great. And now instead of blocking before, if you try to use this tool, it would sort of bring up a screen right in the middle of the student submission. So now it's to the side so that you're able to peruse and kind of refer back to their work clearly. We would love to see, Steve, we've talked about this before, almost like a screencast-o-matic option where it would also, record the screen as you scroll through. So you could mimic that, what you do with that tool. But I think it's getting there. This is better that you can actually see their submission while you chat.
This is an improvement from what it was before, and I think I agree with you on that, Faith. That that recording feature, just as just as a tool to save data, just to have that information as a backup. And I know it's going to be coming eventually, and this is great right now. This was something that I found very useful to myself when I was in my master's program. My instructors always kind of gave me some visual or some recorded feedback or some video audio feedback, and it really helped me be successful. And I think that using this tool for our students will be really good as well.
Yeah, it's really like a personal touch, right? To hear someone's voice and giving you that unique. And for me, I express myself. Yeah, I express myself a lot easier and through talking. Text isn't really my favorite way. It would take me a lot longer. So even from a marking standpoint, it's faster for me to use that option, I think.
Right. Yeah. Then you feel like you're not typing the same thing over and over again. You actually have that ability to articulate that personality.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of pressure sometimes on an instructor to try and be consistent with the feedback that they're giving from student to student to student to student. And we get so caught up in the words that were being used that that there's some meaning lost out of that feedback. Whereas when you are literally reading through their content or reviewing what it is and talking through it, I think it just elevates that feedback, right, to a much higher level. So
Agreed.
cool. All right, we all like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we'll move on to our next point, and that is feedback on override and automatic 0 grades for tests and assignments. How do you
This is
feel about
one.
this?
Yeah, I think this is the one that I think if we didn't hear some faculty feedback that we heard last year, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But I remember a specific faculty member really wanting this feature because they knew that students really weren't maybe looking at the emails or looking at, say, course announcements, but they would look at the bubble of feedback on a 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they missed this, I think, from original, where the 0 would go in, yes, but they would put in the comments or the feedback section, you still have a chance to submit this, you just need to contact me, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And it was a really great, seeing that feedback really encouraged students to connect with the instructor about what to do next. And so I think they'd be really pleased. I hope they watch this and see that this is an option now for them.
Yeah.
I think this makes our process just a lot more efficient. I would do this even though I know I have a student having a 0 and coming in there, and I would try to do an offline submission or try to work my way around it so I could submit something or give them some form of feedback. But now this just makes it very, very easy. Boom, pop, you press one button, one click.
Yep. Or even to say, like, connect with me, we can talk about this still. Or on the other side, this is the final closing, discussion's over, right? Like you could do one way, the hard sort of it's over feedback, or the encouraging folks if it is still something that they're encouraged to. Like the comms courses, I think that this might be a really useful tool, because there's so many students that take that and miss windows of opportunity or think that they have, right? And a lot of people are flexible with some of their work. So
yeah, I even wonder if there's an opportunity for remediation in there. Like you guys were kind of, Faith, you were like, you have a chance to still hand this in, but even if you were moving forward and maybe you want to close the door and say, no, this assignment is done, but you do want to support student growth, right? To be able to say, to have some language prepared and just kind of saved in a document where if students are missing deadlines, paste this in to say like, hey, here are some strategies, or here's some supports that I think that you'd benefit from for if you were to check those out.
that's cool. You could even do the like a student success advisor contact info, something like that.
Yeah. Now our
time
brains are spinning.
management.
That's right. Now we should be able to like have a drop down of these saved ones that we can be pulling in. But now Ultra's gonna shake their fists at me for coming up with more ideas.
Canned messages. Oh,
just gonna say idea exchange. Idea exchange. Yeah.
Yeah. So those were our 4 picks. If I just flip back to our other screen here, so we talked about forms and Likert questions. There is some improvements with rubrics. That's actually something that I've noticed is when you choose that I want to see the description of my criteria, that it remembers that. You don't have to keep saying, I want to see the description. So that's nice. You can send those reminders from Gradebook. Just taking a quick look here before we wrap up this recording. And then I guess that's it. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah. So hopefully this
update.
has been, it's a good update. And so we'll be back again. Soon we'll have version 86 that we can go through. There'll be some new updates on that, so stay tuned. And tell your friends if you're enjoying this. If you find value in it, then pass it along, get people paying attention, because this is why we do it. It's not just because we like to hear ourselves talk, although maybe that's part of it. But we certainly do want to at least add value when we're talking. So I guess that's it. We'll wrap up here. And any last I never rehearse closings, so I don't know.
No,
I guess
that's
that's it.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody.
Ciao.
Thanks, everyone.